Okay, we will call this agenda priorities meeting to order for July the 17th. It's 3 p.m. and I will ask Councillor Wing to please read the land acknowledgement.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. The town of Innisfail acknowledges that we are meeting on Treaty 7 territory, the ancestral and traditional territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy, Kainai, Piikani, and Siksika, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and Stoney Nakoda First Nation. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3, within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. We acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis and Inuit who have lived in and cared for these lands for generations. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders who are still with us today and those who have gone before us. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Wing. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? No. Could I please have someone make a motion to accept the adopt the agenda as presented, please? Councillor
Mayor Barclay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And first today, 3.1, we have a delegation. I'd like to ask Myrna Kissik to please come forward to the front desk here. And
now, you're going to have to speak up because my ears ain't as good as they used to be. How do I begin? We're very unhappy with you people, our Horseshoe players, because we had the Alberta flag flying over the courts for our tournament. And you said we had to take it down. You even took the flagpoles away from us. But I want to, Ms. Wing, before I get into this further, yes, those courts do belong to us. They belong to every person in this town that pays taxes. The people that pay taxes in this town own this town. They own all the sports facilities. They own this building. They pay your wages. So yes, those courts do belong to us because we are also taxpayers. So anyway, since we got that settled, so that you know the town does belong to the people, and the taxpayers of the town, we are quite disappointed in you people for how we were treated. We were treated like second-class citizens that, being seniors, horseshoe pitching seniors, still pitching horseshoes, we're not very happy about it. I know you probably have protocols on flags and things. We never even gave it a thought to ask to put that flag up there. We just went ahead and did it. We didn't think there would be any problem. And we were pleased to have it there, proud to have it there, the Alberta flag flying over our courts. So there you have it, folks. That's our problem. And we don't like being treated like we're second-class citizens. We don't like that at all. That's not right. And not only that, but don't you folks have things better to do, more important things to do to running this town than what you did to us? Any comments?
does anyone have any comments? I think what happened, Myrna, it was brought to our attention, and we have a flag policy, and so administration was asked to check it out. And we do have a policy where if there's one flag, it has to be a Canadian flag on a town facility. You know, we can't have, there's many user groups in the community at the swimming pool, at the arena, and we wouldn't let every user group decide what flag they can fly. And I know it was an oversight, like it's not, in my opinion anyway, not a big deal. And it's just, the flag policy is such, if there's one flag that's Canadian, if there's two on separate poles, it's Canadian and Alberta, etc. So it was not meant to slight you, and I agree, it kind of got blown out of proportion, and I would think in the future, I don't know if there's an opportunity, if you wanted to come forward next year and ask for a flag to be flown at the facility. I don't know if, I don't think that's a problem, is it, CEO Becker? I mean, people can come and ask if there's flags that can be flown, but they need to kind of fit with the protocol under the flag policy.
Okay, I see Mr. Heistad isn't here today. I wished he would have been. He made a comment that, to me, was not very good. He called the province a state. Now, what he was coming by or what he was doing, I do not know, but that's not good for him to go out on the limb and call our province a state. What was he getting at? What was his, what was it? And he's not here to defend himself. I wish the heck he was, but he's not. So anyway, we weren't happy about that either. This is a province, beautiful province of Alberta. It's not a state and never will be. So that we were very unhappy about as well. So you can pass that along to him if you like. He knows that he's not one of our favorite people right now. But anyway, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for coming. And Councillor Harrison, you wanted to say something?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, and through to Myrna there with the delegation. Myrna, yes. Am I talking loud enough? Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, Myrna, the question that I have is there a problem flying the Canadian flag over and above the Alberta flag? Sorry? Would there be a problem flying the Canadian flag over the Alberta flag?
We have no problem with the Canadian flag. It's just we never thought of it.
Okay.
Because we just wanted the Alberta flag for what we were doing.
And yeah, so I concur with Mayor Barclay that, you know, coming up in the next year or so, bring a request through to administration, and maybe it's two poles, maybe it's one with one flying higher than the other. I'm not sure. I don't know what the flag protocol is, but we do have a policy, and we're bound as council members and administration to follow that policy. So that's what we were doing. I concur with Mayor Barclay that we didn't want to slight anybody, and that wasn't our intent. And so, you know, I think we can work through this. We'll work through our CAO, and maybe there's an opportunity for next year at the next tournament that you folks have. So, thanks for coming out, and sure. Yeah.
Do you want to just please come up to the microphone?
Yeah.
Because all the council meetings are recorded, and thank you.
I guess that's high enough, is it? Can people hear me? We're really Canadians just as much as we're Albertans, and I'd like to state that. And like myself, I've got family in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and Quebec and Ontario, and why would I want to be anything else but a Canadian, you know? So that's my opinion. And I just think that the town has done well by giving us making these horseshoe pits for us, and we're very proud of them. And I don't think you've done everything wrong. So that's my opinion. So thanks for
Okay, no,
doing what you've done.
thank you, and, yeah, come on up.
Well, one of the first groups that I got involved with when we came to town, my wife and I from British Columbia, we loved horseshoes, and we found this pit. We phoned the number on the sign, and we joined up in Alberta. Now, I have a suggestion. I don't know what the flap was. I don't know if it was just the press or if somebody was misquoted, but the way that newspaper article came across was a disservice and just simply turned the pot, so to speak, and really was not helpful for community experience. Now, I have a question for you with regard to policy. You know, policies are fine as a guide, but sometimes policies need to have a little breathing room so there's some flexibility. The fact that the issue that somehow we were advocating for the separation of Alberta from Canada just because we were flying a flag over the Alberta pitch tournament with the name Alberta in it, just really caused me to say, well, what are people thinking? All it is the Alberta flag, and we are an Alberta association. So what I would suggest, and it's something to think about, is loosen up a little bit, give a little bit more freedom in your policy where we can fly the Canadian flag, the Alberta flag, or the Innisfail flag. Hey, I love Innisfail. I'm actually proud to be part of this town. I love the size. I love a lot of things about the town. But I'd be happy just to fly the Innisfail flag, just simply because we have pride in this town. So I would just like to encourage the council to think about, do we have to be so strict, and give a little bit of freedom, which we would all love, as we respect our Canadian culture, but also the fact that we're from Alberta. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, okay, one more, and then,
Yeah, we're talking about policy over here, and I'm very proud of Innisfail. I'm here for 25 years. You know, it's never been any problems in town about flags. We all knew this. But I have one question about policy. How this policy came, who give you authority to do this policy without what people in Innisfail? Where the authority come from? Would you please provide us some paper to see what for this policy?
well, we have lots of policies. The flag
I know,
policy is
but
one.
authority,
So we
who
have
give this-
people that come to us and they ask for a flag to be
Yes.
flown. And so that is in the hands of the CEO, whether he says yes or no. But within that policy, it describes what the protocol is
I
for the
know.
flag. So, and that's based on Heritage Canada's protocol. So,
Yeah, but can you provide us authority where it's come from, this policy?
well, it came from us because we are the authority and we approve the flag policy.
But can you show us a paper what have been signed and voted by
Yeah.
people for authority was given to you to do this policy?
I'm not sure what you mean, but
But it's easy. Authority from someone who was given you rights to do this
well,
policy.
that's our job, is to approve policies.
Yeah, but if people not agree with this, then you have to invite probably people and ask what people wanted. And it's not like a flag. One flag was a pride flag over here.
Well, that's
And-
one reason we have a flag policy. So if someone like Pride Organization wants
no,
to
how
fly
come
the
they-
policy, then they can come and they can ask permission for that flag to be flown.
Yeah.
And that is in the hands of our administration,
Can I finish
and it's
my
granted.
question? And we actually, people let you fly this pride flag, what is completely out of people want. Nobody wants this flag.
Okay, well, that's
And
enough.
here's Alberta
That's
flag.
that for today. Thank you very much for coming. No,
Mayor Barclay,
that's enough
may
for
I
today.
address this? So I'm actually a councillor, but I'm also on the Pride Committee. So you're standing in front of me today saying that this community did not want the Pride flag being flown? Is that what you're trying to
Well,
tell us?
we didn't like put this in a serious vote and see how many people want and how many people don't want. We just let you have this flag. And here we are talking about Alberta flag, what is ridiculous. It's just like out of people's mind. It's Alberta.
Okay,
And
well,
we have this big issue about fly, just Alberta flag, because people proud of Alberta. It's just like,
Thank you very much for coming. We had a 10-minute delegation. We've gone 15, and we appreciate all your comments. Okay, and we will move on to 4.1. We have a request for decision with the Innisfail Chamber of Commerce, so I'll ask Blaine Staples to come forward, please. And I don't know if, are you coming too up? Lee is welcome to come as well. Thank you, Myrna, and delegation for coming.
Mayor Barclay, councillors.
Yes.
My name is Blaine Staples, and I'm the president of the Innisfail District Chamber of Commerce. I have with me Lee Eddy, one of our board members and the owner of Blue Rock Animal Nutrition here in town. I've come here today to ask for help in funding our strategic planning session. The details are outlined in the presentation that was circulated to you previous to this meeting. I'd like to emphasize the fact that the Chamber of Commerce works hard to ensure the success of the business community, and that the Power of Place initiative that has been undertaken by the town of Innisfail has the goal of developing the economy and the community of our town. The success of this initiative depends on, to a certain degree, on the success of our businesses, and in that way, both of our goals as a chamber and a municipality are very much aligned. This is demonstrated through the Memorandum of Understanding that we signed last year, also the positioning of the chamber as a partner in the Power of Place initiative. I would also like to point out that we are the only named organization in the Power of Place document. The Chamber is not in great shape financially following some struggles post-COVID, and a solid strategic plan is essential for us to move forward and to continue to be an asset to the business community. It is our feeling that Eric Burton of Factor 5 Group, who has been working with the town to develop the Power of Place initiative, is a great choice to align our strategic goals with those of the town and to help us work out the best path forward. We've been able to negotiate a reduced fee from Eric. However, we do not feel that the Chamber has the resources on hand to hire him. We are asking the town for a grant of $5,000 or even possibly a loan to help us move forward with our strategic planning. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, I'm open to answer those to the best of my ability.
Okay, thank you, Blaine. Does anybody have any questions for Blaine? Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay, through to the delegation. Originally, the ask was for 10,000, and you renegotiated 5,000. That's sort of what I got from the briefing note.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we've taken on some of the, we've offered to take on some of the documentation and development of the materials coming out of the strategic planning session ourselves, and also to keep it down to a one-day session.
So you won't be missing anything if you take a reduction in the 5,000. You'll get the product you want at the end of the day?
We're quite confident that we'll be able to do that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Councillor Messaros?
Thank you. Through to Mr. Staples. Can you tell me just a little bit about the significance of that electronic sign?
I can give you quite a bit of history as I know it. I'm not 100% sure of all of my details and facts on it. The sign came about, there was some land there was originally a static billboard, and when through some highway developments and negotiations with the town, that piece of land was, and I'm not exactly sure of, title and ownership, but it was given to, the use of it was given to the chamber for a sign. Initially, there was an electronic billboard put up there that was financed through an outdoor sign company. And there was a salesperson that sold it for us. It was very significant. It's added tremendously to the bottom line of the chamber. The Innisfail Chamber has had resources to do things for its members far beyond the membership fees that they pay because of that sign. However, the lifespan on those signs is about 10 years. I would say in the last few years it has not been sold as well as it should have been, and expenses have been a lot more for maintaining it. So I think a part of our strategic plan is deciding how to go forward with that sign to, you know, there's some different options that are available to us, and trying to develop a really solid plan to develop, you know, a good financial future for the chamber. Is that?
Thank you. And one more question. At the bottom of your report, and thank you for providing that report, it says, what do the members value? And I'm wondering, are those money-making events at the bottom here, some of these?
We do try our best to make some money on those. It's, you know, we plan for them to be a profit center, though it's hard to make a lot of money off of something that is, you know, an educational program. It's really dependent on how many people we can get to come out and things like that. And really, a lot of what it is it's cost recovery of paying for the facility and the meal. Quite oftentimes it probably doesn't pay for the time of our executive director that's involved in that.
All right, thank you. Any further questions? Councillor Dunham?
More just a statement. I think we all realize that since COVID that there's been a huge change, and we've seen the dynamic of the chamber change substantially in the last couple of years. And I think that there's real value in our partnership and with what we've been doing to date with the Economic Development Committee, with Factor 5 and all that. I would like to see that continue, and I would like to see our success. And I think I'm going to throw my vote behind this because I really see the value in it, and the fact that you've been able to negotiate it down with Eric to where you have, I think it just really would set the chamber on a good direction. I mean, you have a new EA in place, and she's out in the community working and really doing a lot. And it would be good to see the value, like I said, the value of what this would bring to the chamber going forward. So I personally, I think it's a really good idea, and I think it's something, you know, the 10,000 was a little bit much for me to try and digest, but I think this is a much more reasonable, and I think it's something that we should definitely consider and look at. So that's just my opinion.
Would you like to make a motion then?
Absolutely, I would very much like to make the motion. The council approves the funding of $5,000 for the 2023 Economic Development Operational Budget for the chamber to hire Factor 5 Group for the strategic planning services.
Okay. Does anybody have any other comments? Councillor Wing?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Of course, I support the motion, but I just really wanted to take this opportunity to thank Blaine and to thank Lee and to thank the entire board at the chamber. They have put in uncountable hours in the last couple of years, the last year especially, trying to right the ship at the chamber office, and they've done an amazing body of work. We have a great executive director. There's lots of exciting things, but as volunteers, you have all gone above and beyond the call of duty, and so I'm very grateful for all of you for doing that. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Okay, so we have a motion. All in favor? All right, carried. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming. Have a good day. And we'll move on to 4.2, the strategic priorities update with CEO Becker.
Thanks, Mayor Barclay. It's the priorities are there as a standing item only. We realize an update is required. We'll do that likely in advance of your end of August strat planning session. So it's there for any questions.
Okay, thanks. Anybody have any questions about this document? If not, have somebody please make a motion to accept it as information.
Mayor Barclay, I would move we accept this report for information.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Okay, thanks. And we will move on to upcoming events. Okay, we'll just have somebody make a motion, or do you have some questions? Councillor Messaros?
I do, Mayor Barclay, thank you. Is the Cape Delegation Summit invite, is that for us to RSVP to?
I think once we get a little further along, we'll send an invite out. I don't really know all the logistics of that quite yet, and of course the dates change from September to October, so we just need to kind of figure out what everybody's role is, and they will be coming here on the first day. That's what's scheduled so far, although that's a council day, so we'll have to try to figure that out as well. And
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so somebody could make a motion that we accept the upcoming events as information, please.
I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Messaros. Any other questions? No, all in favor? Okay, carried. Then we'll move into council committee reports with Councillor Dunham up first.
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Since the last time I was in chamber, not a lot has happened. I did miss our meeting last week on a personal note, but yeah, looking forward to a lot of events in the coming weeks.
All right, thank you. And Councillor Harrison?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I did have the opportunity to attend the Olds College tour, and I'll tell you, it really opened my eyes. You know, you look back where we were 10, 15, 20 years ago on the farm, it certainly wasn't what I saw there at Olds. So good stuff. You know, I've sort of been not struggling, but thinking about how we as Innisfail can partner with that group down there, you know, and maybe get some stuff. So I think, you know, maybe at budget time we can do some brainstorming around how we can work with that group. But it was sure enlightening to see. And I'll just, on a personal note, I just got back from Red Deer, and those crops are looking really good. And I saw all those spray lines. Were they autonomous, or were the guy in the tractor driving? So just a comment. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Wing?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. Yeah, so since our council meeting last week, I attended the monthly Innisfail Chamber of Commerce board meeting. However, I unfortunately missed the Olds College tour. I was sorry to miss that. It is great to have two vibrant post-secondary institutions so close by, so using them and becoming partners with them is a great idea. This week brings MPC, a reminder for everybody of Innisfail's two farmers markets, tomorrow afternoon and Thursday morning, both of which are at the library. And then Saturday, I believe, is the Lions Club annual soapbox derby.
Okay, thank you. And Councillor Messaros?
Thank you, Mayor Barclay. I also attended the Olds College Ag and Technology Center tour, and we got to be there with a group of Scottish students, which was pretty exciting to see them asking their questions. And yeah, it was great with that. And tomorrow we've got MPC. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And I as well was on the Olds College tour. It was awesome. Had lunch on Friday with a business lunch. And then I was at the Bowden Parade on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. So thanks to Heather Taylor for driving Miss Daisy. So we will now, what's that? I'll now have a motion to go into in camera, please.
Mayor Barclay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dunham. All in favor? Okay, thank you.